What's up, guys? Welcome to an absolutely beautiful, breathtaking morning here in Nashville, Tennessee. My name is Seth, and welcome to the very first ever F1 Ocean Show. Hey, I'm here to chat some F1 with you. I am a passionate F1 fan, most likely just like yourself. And hey, I wanted to start a show where I could chat and share my passion for this beautiful, magical sport of Formula One with you. So hey, here I am. I'm a rookie at this. Be patient with me as I grow and go through the hurdles and everything that comes with starting a show like this. I don't have the highest quality equipment. I'm using my MacBook Pro camera. Have a little lapel mic, but hey, you got to start somewhere. And you know what? I'm not going to let that stuff get in the way of just my love for this sport. So if you're here, first of all, thank you. It means the world. Thank you so much for taking the time, for taking a little bit of time out of your day to spend with me and watch this video. It means the world to me. So let's go ahead and dive in. So I want to give you a little context. If you haven't seen any of my other videos before, either, I've done a couple on YouTube here over the past year or so as I've been trying to get my feet wet with all of this. I also did quite a few live streams on Twitch. That's kind of where I most recently have kind of lived for a while. But I spend so much time consuming other F1 content creators on YouTube, and I just love this platform. And so I've just felt a nudge in my heart. I've been kind of wanting to shift over to the world of YouTube and dive in to join these other wonderful F1 content creators who I look up to and I have so much respect for. So thank you to all of you F1 content creators who have kind of paved the way for the rest of us, and yeah, I'm excited to hopefully be a part of this F1 world. And so yeah, if some of this may be a repeat if you've watched some of my other videos, but I wanted to just take a second, give you a little intro into who I am and what this channel is going to be about, what these shows will be about. Obviously, it's F1. That is my focus. It's funny, for as much as I love F1, I have little to no interest in any other type of racing. I'm kind of an anomaly, I guess you'd say, in that sense. A lot of other people I follow who love F1 love all racing. I respect these other forms of racing, but they just don't do much for me. So you know what? I'm not going to try to be anything that I'm not. You're just going to get me. You're going to get Seth. You're going to get the passionate F1 fan. And that's what I focus on, just F1. And so yeah, my name's Seth. Another thing real quick. So in all of my previous videos, and I'm going to do it here too, I love coffee. I love coffee. I love F1. I love my beautiful family. And I love God. These are some of the things I love. And you're going to get this stuff in these shows. My wife actually just took our 4 kids off to school, so we've got 4 kids. So it's hard to find a small window of quiet in the house to do one of these videos, but here I am, and that's why I'm doing it this morning before I start work. But I always feature a coffee mug because I love coffee, love drinking coffee throughout the day as I work. And today's mug is brought to you by Ted Lasso, the Believe, straight from my sister-in-law, Shelby. She got me this, I believe was it for Christmas or for my birthday? I don't know, this past year. So good. I love Ted Lasso. I'm only like halfway through season 2. My wife Kelly and I are watching it, but I love this dude. I love this guy's heart. I love his joy. I love the way he coaches and loves people. And I love the Believe. I love this Believe. You know why? Because there are many forces that kind of in my head tell me, don't jump into the world of F1 on YouTube. It's too big. There are already too many incredibly talented people doing this. So a lot of things in my head telling me, don't do it. You know what? But I'm gonna, as cheesy as it sounds, I'm gonna believe that I can contribute a little bit of value. And hopefully you guys enjoy these shows. So without further ado, a little bit about me. Won't take too long in this, but I live in Nashville with my beautiful wife and our 4 little kiddos, and we love it here. I'm originally from Ohio. My wife and I are both from Ohio. Went to school in Ohio. Have kind of bounced around the country, lived in California, Wisconsin, Ohio. And now we're here, settled, raising our kiddos in Nashville, in good old Brentwood, Tennessee. And I am a full-time UI UX designer. That's my full-time job. I work right here in this little, my F1 Ocean headquarters. It's a converted closet. It's just a little closet that we ripped shelving out, and when we bought this house and converted this little this little office into what has now become my F1 Ocean studio, headquarters, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, this is where I spend my day working full time. I work for a company as a senior UI UX designer. And I love design. So you're going to see a lot of design infused into what I do with F1 Ocean. Hope you enjoy it. And let's see, what else about me that you guys would need to know? I created this F1 Ocean brand back in 2021. I wanted to partner my love and my passion for F1 with my passion for design. And so I started, basically creating these designs to keep people up to date with the latest news in F1 and the F1 world. And so I started a Facebook group. I started a Facebook page, which I still run. You can see it linked here on my F1 Ocean channel. And then I started, I do Twitter, Instagram. Those 3 things are kind of the main F1 Ocean footprint in the world right now. But I'm going to start focusing heavily on doing these shows here on YouTube. And so if you haven't yet, I would greatly appreciate it if you like this video, subscribe to the channel. It would mean the world to me. Having your support I do this just because I love it. This isn't my full-time job, but I'm here because I just have such a passion for this beautiful, magical sport of Formula One. And so I wanted to share it with you. And I hope you enjoy it. Hopefully the kind of the forecast for what I want this show to be, my hope, and this is what I'm going to kind of strive for is 1, maybe 2. It's going to vary per week. Ideally, I would love to do a couple shows per week. We'll see how it goes, but that's what I'm going to kind of aim for. And like I said, I've done Twitch live streams for a while. But I'm very excited to make the jump over here to join you all on YouTube. Gonna try. I tend to be long-winded. I'm gonna try to be more concise, do a little bit shorter videos, more compact, quicker show updates. Over on Twitch, they were more in the area of like an hour. So I'm gonna try to make them a bit shorter and more easily digestible for you all. We're gonna chat about the latest things in F1. I might share some of my ranking videos. Ranking. I recently did a live stream on Twitch, ranking my favorite, all 10 F1 car livery designs. You'll see a lot of design love and rankings. I love that side of the sport. So. And from there, I want to jump into why is it that I love F1? Like, I titled this video "The Magic of F1" because I do see it that way. There's something about Formula One that has captured my heart that I love, and I keep coming back to year after year, race after race. Growing up, I grew up in a home where my dad was a passionate and still is a passionate Formula One fan. It is a pleasure to get to share that passion with him. And my mom is even has become a great F1 fan, and it's just fun to share that with family members. And I know my sister will and brother-in-law, they'll tune in from time to time, and they'll watch races, and it's become something fun to be able to share with family. And a handful of my friends have now gotten into it, thanks to, in large part, to Netflix's series Drive to Survive. So I'm getting to share this love for this beautiful sport with friends and family now. I love it. I've been working on my wife. Got about 2 episodes into Drive to Survive, but it's okay. She's just, you can't force it. She has great respect she loves that I'm into F1, but it's just it's not one of her passion. Doesn't do a lot for her, and that's okay. So why do I love Formula One? When I sit back and think about this question, I am not someone who is greatly focused on, nor do I understand the great technical world of F1. My mind doesn't work that way. I'm not great at the technical regulations and specs of these cars and so forth. I'm also not someone who remembers very easily moments of the past in F1. There are certain things that stand out to me that I'll always remember. But I'm not also, I'm not your F1 content creator who's going to rattle off, who won at Spa in 2014, let alone who won the last race. Half the time I need to, before this, I started this video, I was thinking, what was the last race? It's been a couple weeks. We've got this like 4-week gap or so between races, and was it Australia? Was it Jeddah? It was Australia. But so my mind, I watch other content creators, and they are just rattling off, technical specs on cars and so forth, and they're talking about who passed who at Cops Corner at Silverstone, this past season, and half the time I can't keep up with what even happened in the last race. But what I can give you is my passion. I love this sport, and here's why. I love the sights and the smells and the sounds of F1. I love that it is the absolute pinnacle. There's nothing in the racing world that tops it. It is the absolute top. I think I love the world of F1 because there's a fantasy, there's like almost like a mystical level to it, because there's so much money, there's so much celebrity that is different from my life. My life isn't celebrity. My life isn't just gobs and gobs of money, that these teams see. God has blessed our family beyond belief. We are so grateful. But I think that side of F1 is, I don't know, it keeps me curious, and it's appealing because there's so much happening in F1 that I am just not, I don't know, I guess like I haven't been introduced to in my life, because there's just so much happening with these personalities and the unbelievable amounts of money that are being poured into these teams and drivers and cars. So it's just fascinating. There's a fascinating level to it, and it's unlike anything else in my life. I also just love the cars. I love the look and the feel and the designs of these liveries. I love seeing when new car liveries are launched each season. I love focusing and looking at the little design details that these teams have chosen to go with. I love the look and the feel of the overalls that these drivers wear, and even the pit crews. I love looking at like the colors of these teams and the designs that they go with. I love the personalities, and you get so much of this through. I'm so grateful for Drive to Survive because they give us a view behind the curtain. They help us learn the personal side, the more intimate side of these drivers that we normally don't get to see on a weekly basis during a race weekend. You know, we know how these drivers do on track. We know how fast they are. We know when they're racing wheel to wheel with another driver, how do they act? How do they perform? But it's fun to get to learn more about these fascinating people that are brave enough and crazy enough to get behind the wheel of an F1 car and go 200 miles per hour around crazy corners and tracks, wheel to wheel with other drivers. It's insane. I couldn't do it. As much as I love cars and going fast, there's no way I could do what they do. I have incredible respect for these dudes and what they do on track. It's truly breathtaking. And, so I think it's these kinds of reasons that I love the magic of F1. I love the history. I love all these characters. A lot of drivers that I wasn't introduced to, until after until after their time. There are a lot of drivers that I missed growing up because I just wasn't a fan yet. So my dad, his two brothers, have been fans of F1 for as long as I can remember, my whole life. But for some reason, even though I grew up, in a home where my dad was watching races, it didn't click for me until, for some reason, I don't get it. I don't know why, but in 2009, 14 years ago, something clicked. And I, ever since, have fallen in love and just, I can't get enough of this sport. I love F1. I grew up being a baseball fan, a basketball fan, watching football, all those kind of sports. And never, for some reason, I'd see my dad watching a race and I had no interest. It didn't do anything for me. But in 2009, the season where Jenson Button won with Braun, I fell in love. And I've been a fan ever since. And my passion has only grown with each passing season. And I just love this sport. I love it. I love chatting about it. So this is the kind of stuff you're going to get from me. Again, you're not going to get the technical things. Maybe I'll try to touch on them every now and then. But my mind, the technical side, that kind of stuff doesn't do anything for me. I just love talking about the look, the feel, the personalities, how the cars look, the differences in tracks. I love the personalities of the different tracks. I love that each race is in a new, beautiful city around the world. That is fascinating. So we're constantly just being transported to new places in the world and different cultures and different tracks that have their own personalities. And the drivers have to react and alter their driving styles because each track is so different, whether it's a street track or a dedicated F1 track. It's marvelous. It's incredible. And I hope my passion is contagious and you feel that and we can share in that together in these videos. Real quick, up until 2021, I had been a fan, but had never actually been to a race in person. I had always just watched these cars on TV. I knew they were fast, but I just never had an actual in-person sense for how fast they actually are. And until my birthday in 2021, when I turned 40 years old, I'm dating myself a bit here, my wife, Kelly, absolutely blew me away and surprised me with probably the greatest gift I've ever received. And she surprised me with 4 tickets to the race in Austin, at COTA. Myself and 3 of my closest friends, we got to go for the whole weekend. Got to see all practice sessions, quali, the race in Austin back in 2021 when Max just slightly won over Hamilton. It was absolutely breathtaking. I'll never forget We were standing at the S turns, for the first ever moment I saw an F1 car on track. We were standing at the S's, and it absolutely, no exaggeration, took my breath away. I can still remember the moment. Before you know, the F1 cars took to the track, I believe it was like, it was a different different league that was racing beforehand, who were practicing, and I believe it was maybe like, I don't know, F4 or like, I can't remember what it was. It was maybe F3. It was pretty low, but I'll never forget watching them race around the track. And again, like, they're doing something I could never do, okay? So I have great respect for them. But they didn't look like they were going super fast. The cars, I was like, I'm kind of surprised. They don't look super fast. And then the F1 cars came around the track. And guys, I mean, I still cannot believe how fast these cars were going. It was a completely different world from what I had just seen in those, you know, F3, F4 cars. These cars absolutely were setting the track on fire. I could not believe it. I remember looking at my friends like, did you just see that? Did you just see the aggressive speed that these cars came through these turns on absolute rails? These cars, my mind couldn't comprehend it. The cars should absolutely have flown off the track right into the fences. But they hugged the track on absolute rails and were going just bonkers speeds that took my breath away. It's the best way I can describe it. And I'll never forget it. It was absolutely beautiful. And so these are all of the reasons that I love the magic of this sport. It's a breathtaking sport. There's no other sport that I've ever followed that comes even close. It's just, these guys are driving at the absolute limit every second, whether it's quali, whether it's a race, and they're doing it wheel to wheel, rubber to rubber, with other cars that are just going as all out bonkers as they are. The risk, the heart pumping speed and passion, and it's just remarkable. It is remarkable. So those are the reasons I love F1. That's where I see the magic. That's what captures me about this sport, okay? Who are some of my favorites, all right? If you've watched me before, I talk about them all the time. My man right here, my man right here, Danny, Rick, Daniel Ricciardo. Let's just have a moment of silence for our man Danny. Danny Rick, I just love this dude. It pains me that the man is not in a car this season, but I'm hoping that he's back next season. We'll see. I know the dude is expensive. Some team is going to have to fork over some serious coin to get this dude in a car, but I hope it happens, because not only do I love Ricciardo's aggressive driving and speed and bravery on track. I know we didn't see a lot of it over the past 2 seasons at McLaren, but if you watched him from the get-go, from the beginning, and saw him in those Red Bull days, and even a little bit at Renault, you know Danny Rick, he's got that something that only a select few have in F1. He's got that something, and I hope he gets back on the grid soon and we get to see it. I want to see it again. I don't want our last impressions of Danny Rick to be his McLaren days, because he's so much better than that. And even beyond how he is on track, I think the reason I appreciate him the most is his joy and his not only love for the sport, but love and respect for other people. He is just, that smile, the joy that he brings to the paddock is so good, and we need it back. We need it back. There are other great drivers on the grid. Don't get me wrong. a lot of other drivers I really love and respect. But there's something about Danny that's different. That joy, the smile, the time that he has for other people. He's kind and respectful and just so joyful. How can you not love that dude? So Danny Rick is by far my favorite driver. Of the drivers that are on the grid right now, I think there are a handful I really have grown to like. But I think I'd have to go right now with George Russell. There's something about George that I think he's special. He's special. I love that he was at Williams. Williams is my favorite team. We'll get there in a second. But there's something about Russell that I think is special. And I don't think we've seen all of him yet. I think he is super quick. I think he understands. I think he's wicked smart, and he understands the inner workings of F1 and the car that he's driving really well, better than others. And I think he is going to be, if I had to pick one driver right now who I think is going to be the one to battle closest with Max over the next 5 years, I think I'd have to go out on a limb and say George Russell. There's an argument for Leclerc. I think Charles is incredible, and he could very well be the one battling closest with Max. But if right now in this moment I've got to pick, I'm going George Russell. And I think he's exceptional. Favorite team, Williams. Naturally, my last name is Williams. I grew up in a home where my dad had a lot of Williams apparel and merch and stuff. So I've been exposed to Williams. I love their family, their tight-knit family history. And I honestly love that they're the underdog right now. And I'm excited to see them fight their way back to the top where they were years ago, winning races, winning titles. So got a lot of love for Williams. And I will say this also. Let me grab a little sip here. Speaking of believe, a lot of belief here in Williams. I'm going to believe that Williams is going to get back to the top soon. Also, when it comes to drivers, Hamilton is not necessarily my favorite driver. He's not. But I really have grown to respect this dude, and his driving style is, I've watched him, I think, win all but one title. And it's weird seeing him and Mercedes not fighting at the top right now as they were for, those 7 straight seasons or so, 6-7 straight seasons just a few years ago. We won't go into this right now because I know it's a very controversial subject, but I just personally, and we can have differing views, that's fine, you can think differently. I think Hamilton was robbed of his eighth title a couple years ago in Bahrain. Great respect, so happy for Max that he won his first title. Not taking anything away from that. This is nothing against Max. I'm great respect for that dude. He is from a different planet. That dude is he is miles ahead of everyone right now, and I think he's gonna if someone doesn't quickly get in his way, the dude could win like the next 20 titles. He's that good. But I do just think the way things went down, I think Hamilton was robbed of his 8th title. And for that reason, I really am pulling for him to win his 8th title. I want to see him win his 8th title, and then he can, ride off into the sunset, and other people can start winning. But I do really, when I'm watching races now, I'm pulling for Russell, like Leclerc, but I'm pulling for Hamilton too because I just want to see him set the record, and pass Schumacher. Would love to just witness. We're witnessing greatness, whether you like Hamilton or not. We're witnessing greatness with this dude, and he's going to go down in history as one of the greatest, if not the greatest driver we've ever seen. That's up for debate, obviously. But So yeah, I want to see Hamilton win his 8th. Yeah, favorite track. Last thing, favorite track. If I had to pick a favorite track, man, there's so many good ones. I think there's two. I'd have to go with Spa. Spa, there's something about it. Speaking of the magic of F1, Spa puts a lot of magic in this sport. There's something, I've never been there in person, but man, I would love to have that opportunity one day. But there's something about that track. Seeing these cars just with their wicked speed through let's call it the forest of Spa, racing through the woods. There's just something about that track that is just beautiful. It's gorgeous. Oftentimes there's, if you get it at the right time of day, there's like the fog and the mist, and they're just tearing through the forest, and it's the countryside there is just breathtaking. So yeah, Spa is absolutely magical. There's something about that place that is just beautiful and a little bit different from all the rest. And then I gotta say Austin, COTA, just because I've been there and I've witnessed a race at that track. It is an incredible track, absolutely incredible. The way it flows, it's beautiful. It's also, the way they built it is really good for spectators. The walking paths, it's easy to navigate. You can get from one side to the other pretty quickly. You can pretty much walk around the whole track, so you can at any point jump to a different part of the track and watch. Very easy to navigate and to see pretty much any part of the track at any time. So love COTA and Austin, awesome place. I think that's kind of it for my favorites, a little bit of context of who I am and what we're going to be doing with this channel. Let's go ahead and just quickly take a look at the current standings. Max, holy Max, goodness gracious, this dude, I mean, if he's not going to have some DNFs or something, there's no way the dude's not going to win the title this season. He's just that good. I mean, Sergio, look here, what is he? He's only 15 points behind. That's good. We need someone to stay on his heels, on Max's heels. Fernando, absolutely incredible to see him that high at age 41 in an Aston Martin. I'll tell you what, when Fernando moved, when he announced the switch from Alpine to Aston Martin last season to fill Vettel's spot, what crossed my mind immediately was, oh man, that dude is going to be so frustrated within the first few races, because Aston Martin just hasn't had that they haven't been able to compete. They just haven't had it. And for some reason in the off season, they figured it out. My watch keeps come on Siri, leave me alone. I got Siri looking up F1 stats and stuff on my phone. But yeah, they found an extra something, and they are looking special this season. Honestly, at this point, as much as I wish Mercedes was at the top, they're inching their way back. They've been looking better over the last couple races, but Ferrari's not there. Aston Martin, right now, is looking like the second best car on the grid after Red Bull, and it's exceptional to see Alonso, even Stroll. Stroll has, he's a great driver, but I think he's been very underwhelming, and I think a lot of people agree. A lot of people think, well, he's only in the sport because his dad is the head of Aston Martin. But man, I'll tell you what, I've got a lot of respect for Stroll so far this season. He's proven me wrong in so many ways. He's shown that he's got some serious talent. So it's fun to see Aston Martin up at the top, especially Alonso. Man, what has he had? 3 straight podiums, 3 straight third place finishes. Incredible. Absolutely incredible at his age to just be putting in these races like this. So I do hope that Perez and Alonso can hang with Max, and that we can have a bit of a battle, a close battle all the way to the finish. I don't want to see Max run away with it too soon because it just takes a little bit of the wind out of F1's sail when that happens. But Max is he's a different breed right now. And we need someone to really mix it up and get in his way. I love seeing Mercedes starting to creep back. What was it? If I'm, correct me if I'm wrong, but if I remember correctly, it was Max, Russell, and Hamilton on the podium at the last race in Australia. I hope I'm getting that right. I think I am. So great to see them back in the mix. Hamilton, I believe, was second. So love it. I would love to see those dudes get back to the top because it's good to see Alonso up there, but a Hamilton-Verstappen fight again would just be awesome. Because we've seen it before. It gets spicy. It would just be awesome. It'll also be exciting to see what happens with Russell and Hamilton if they continue to battle. And there's a lot of respect there right now that I don't think has been broken, which is great to see. There's a lot of respect between Hamilton and Russell. I think Russell is obviously the future of Mercedes. He's going to take them into the future. So they're sitting pretty with him. Who knows who will eventually take Hamilton's spot. But I'd love to see Hamilton and Russell continue to work their way up and hopefully get in the way of Max a bit. Ferrari sitting 5th and 10th. Leclerc, the man cannot catch a break. He is so good. So is Sainz. But Leclerc is also one of those drivers who is special, who has something different than the rest of these guys on the grid. And I believe he could be fighting with Max at the top if he can just have a reliable car. Awesome to see Hulk up there with Haas. That's incredible. Just great job by Hulk so far. McLaren, incredibly underwhelming this season so far. Very bizarre. McLaren's a team I wish was battling at the top. They have not been able to figure it out. And I guess it shows. Danny Rick, it wasn't all down to just the driver. That car has been struggling. And Lando Norris is a special driver. He's one of those 4 or 5 special drivers who, if he has an incredible car, he could be at the top fighting. Because look, he's taken a McLaren that is incredibly underwhelming, and he's sitting in 8th place right now. So Norris is going to be fun to watch for the next 10 or so years. He's one of those special drivers. So won't touch on all the rest. You can see him there. Great to see Williams with a point. I think they've caught some bad breaks as well, but Albon is looking quick. Really hope that they can get in the points more often. Sargent has been looking real quick as a rookie, straight out of the gate. He's been looking great. Alpine with some good points so far. I'm a big Gasly fan, so hoping for great things there at Alpine for him. And I think that's it. So guys, thank you so much. If you've tuned in and stuck it out with me this far, just thank you. It truly means the world to me that you would take some time out of your day to sit and listen to me chat about F1, this sport, this magical sport that I love, that I'm passionate about. I love this stuff. And so subscribe, do all that kind of YouTube stuff because it does help me. And if you like this video, share it with your friends. I'm going to be doing many more of these, and I'm super excited. We're right now in the middle of a little bit of a lull. Next weekend, we head to Azerbaijan. We got the Baku street race. Always a fun race. Blazing by the castle. Just incredible. Awesome race. So looking forward to that. But I'll see you again soon. I'm going to be doing another one of these very soon. Maybe even this week. We'll see. So stay tuned. Help me spread the word. I greatly appreciate you and you taking the time to watch. So many thanks. And I can't wait to do another one of these. We will see you soon. And have an awesome day. Thanks for watching. And I love F1. See you soon.